Hey, we're very nice about this, and not all hungover or tired or anything.
None of us
we have not went through what we were going to do before we went live.
We could have, but that's...
You could have done one. Screw it. Let's go.
Go, because all of us need to be off anyway, while you're hungover or tired, or we have jobs in the morning. So...
Pretty much.
That doesn't apply to me in the slightest. I'm not hungover and I have nowhere to go.
You were meant to be in work tonight, technically, so fuck off.
Yeah. I'm not working for somebody else.
I mean, Amy is still bitter after yesterday. There's still a little bit of leftover hatred.
A bit leftover hatred. No, there's pure hatred.
You said it's okay. I know it doesn't matter, and I was like, but when I say you will, and you're like, no, I won't. You fucking did. I warned you.
No. You warned me about the whole Marty. You went serious fucking off.
Well, like, I told you I was gonna have to like piss you off, and you were gonna kill me, and you were like, no, I won't.
Alex, I fucking chased you on one leg with a crutch. Trying to hit.
Because you're a mad bitch. That's nothing to do with me.
And swung.
Good thing I was mobile.
What? Good thing. Are you serious? You're literally gonna like kick me walk down now as well?
What?
I'm already sick of Alex's.
My job, guys.
We're not even gone 2 minutes yet. That's great.
Well done, lads. Well done.
I'm infuriating little shit sometimes. Aaron, I no longer judge you for like wanting to kill him.
See? And I've had 4 extra weeks of this bullshit.
Yeah. How many have we done?
Oh my god. Say again, Dan?
Fuck's sake. How many have we done?
Alex is my favorite. Even after all the shit.
Number 7.
Do you want you supposed to get a laptop? The helper.
I said for next week.
Like, so right. Let's just get through this without dying. Let's just pass over this quick. Did anything happen on SmackDown that we should give any shits about?
The only thing that happened, I think, was
that promo.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that one, yeah.
Once again, it was fine. I said this in the chat. It's just the same shit. Oh shit! It's the same shit. The top of my pen fell off. So. Okay, yeah. Spray all over the place.
So we have technically had a death on the podcast. We got a death on the podcast.
Finally, Jesus! I've been waiting for like a month.
Yeah, we're all still waiting.
I thought the promo was fine. Just the same shit we fought all the time. You know, The Rock is taking, and then John Cena's taking The Rock's place.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's been done, right? Edge did it first before Mania 25, I think. But he did that promo. He goes, "I hate you. I hate everything about you." Shit.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And then kind of it's been done by The Miz and it's been done by this person, and it's just like
it's basically like the 101 template for a Cena feud is I'm gonna say some shoot stuff so the fans will cheer for me, and I'm gonna seem hip and cool, but like this has been done and done better.
And Roman Reigns is probably the worst thing. The worst thing is Roman Reigns is the worst person ever on the mic.
I liked him when he started. When he got legitimately pissed off at John Cena, he was really good. But before that, he was like yeah, but like I'm cool, so fuck you.
But he what did he call him? A corporate John Cena
Fake-ass
wannabe.
bitch.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
corporate fake ass, whatever the fuck. And then his reply was fake ass bitch. I was like, that's okay.
Very weak.
Yeah, it was weak. It was very weak.
No real
It's just
substance.
like you have him against the Miz, or you have him against The Rock, or you have him against Punk, and you've got someone who can at least come back to him well enough when John Cena is on his game. When you've got against someone like Roman Reigns, it's just
Like Reigns' best feature about him is his physical attributes, being able to just like kill people. Just putting him on the microphone is a terrible idea.
Like as somebody said, he was most over when he was just powerbombing people through tables. Let him just go back to that.
Yeah, if he just went and just powerbombed Cena through that table instead of trying to say anything, it would have come off so much better.
see, that's the times we live in. So that was it.
Powerbombing people through tables.
But Amy, because we didn't get your points in yet.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to sort out stuff for tomorrow, so I'm kind of back and forth. So I'm listening.
She's
here
never
to-
100% committed to us, is she? She's either doing something on the forum or something else while she's talking to us.
Amy can be me for this week, where she just kind of sits and doesn't say anything or can't be heard.
I'm Alex, I'm still pissed at you, so you can fuck right off.
I told you. You said it's all kayfabe, it's all scripted, it's okay, don't worry. And I fucking told you, I was like, I'm going to cut loose, be warned. And you were like,
no, you didn't. No, you lulled me into a false sense of security with that bullshit you did. So don't even try to say that I knew it was coming, because I didn't, okay? That was bullshit lies.
Whatever.
Glad you got home, okay?
Thank you.
I'm not.
It was so funny, like, she, like, hit me, and then afterwards was like, I'm so sorry, let me know when you get home, okay? And it was like, but you fucking little shit, you annoyed me so much. Like,
I'm sorry, like, I can't help it if I do actually worry about people when they're leaving events and stuff like that. But still.
So it was kind of like, I want to murder you, but let's hope nobody else does on the way home.
Yeah, but there's far too much evidence on the internet that I've threatened you already, okay? Let's not let anything happen.
I said that to Aaron. He knows a guy who'll clean it all up. He knows the shit, like.
Did you get your shoes?
I'm from the
Did you
north
get
side.
your rebellion shoes?
Oh, he didn't bring them with him, so I couldn't kill him yet.
They're not arriving for like 2 months.
What?
2 months?
Why are
They
you
take
waiting
6 weeks.
2 months to kill you?
They're not shipping for 6
Wait,
weeks,
the
and then they
series?
take 3 to arrive.
Survivor
Oh,
Series?
yeah, because they have to get the orders in so they know how many they need made.
Yeah. It'll take a while.
But just remember, we can all do it at Survivor Series together as a group.
We can. It can be like an activity for all of us.
It's a bonding session. Oh.
A session, all right.
That's great.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I really feel the love.
You should. We're pretty much like risking prison just to kill you. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah.
Not a plan has to go into that.
I don't know.
Right.
This is the least wrestling.
Fucking talking. I'll talk about the Mae Young Classic because I watched 4 hours of wrestling and a half an hour was worth it. So.
Didn't catch most of that.
Say again?
I didn't catch most of that.
I said, I'm going to review the Mae Young Classic where I watched 4 hours of wrestling, but only in a half an hour was worth it.
Alright. It's because there was too many squashes.
Fair enough.
It wasn't actually. All the matches were on. The only squash match that was there was...
Well, not squashes, but they were all one-sided between some woman you'd never heard of against some indie name that was clearly going to win.
Not at all. I'll be
Yeah.
the one match I thought, like the one person I thought that would at least make the semi-finals was that German one, Jazzy Gabert, right?
Yeah.
I was convinced she was making the semi-finals. Knocked out in the first round.
Yeah. And everything else was predictable as fuck.
Kaylee Ray got knocked out in the first round.
That
Yeah,
was
but
shocking.
like, I'm talking about like Xia Li against fucking whoever she was up against, and Kairi Sane against Tessa Blanchard. Like, it was clear.
Xia Li got knocked out.
Yeah, but like it was clear she was going to lose. Nobody's ever heard of her.
Nobody's ever. I said the mainstream audience said it also hasn't heard of Kairi Sane, but she's still fucking won her match against Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, but this is a tournament for the indie smarks who are jizzing over Kairi Sane even being in WWE.
I still thought it was
seriously, there's no kid going to be ordering the network to watch a Mae Young Classic.
He's got a point there.
I
never thought I'd say that.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
When did Alex start like making sense?
When I started drinking at OTT yesterday, and
sorry, you were not making sense yesterday at OTT. I wasn't making much sense either, but still, you were not making any sense.
How? When did I not make sense?
I'm not. Do you know what? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
When did he start not making sense? Was it after his first or second pint of watching fucking thieves? The pussy.
Thank you very much.
I mean,
yeah, you fucking Q skipped as well. Thank you very much. There was no fucking way that you made it from paintball and then managed to get like just behind me in the queue.
No, but I have some peeps. So.
Q skipper. You're a Q skipper.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
So are most of your friends. If they showed up late, they'd walk right up to the front. So.
Fucking weren't. Because we were all there from the early fucking hours before 12. When you were off paintballing and Bray. You're nothing but a fucking Q skipping blow-in that watches New Japan.
And you're a mark for a guy who's a Marty Jannetty of his faction.
Alex.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to need the two lads come Survivor Series to help me in killing you.
I love how like we were like.
I'm not even looking at the screen anymore.
I will do it with my bare hands. I will do it sober with my bare hands. Your face to the table. Talking that bullshit again.
I just thought we were on good terms, and then I did a kayfabe promo on you for a thing.
No, do you know what? No. If Nathan's around and he has his fucking camera, then yeah, you can do it. But when we are here with the four of us trying to be normal, no.
But like, you started it.
No, none of the bullshit.
No, you started it.
None.
So you just got
double standards as usual, Adrian Amy.
Just stop. Compose yourself. Get out of your whole little pet of Nathan frame of mind and just get back to the podcast. You done? You done? You done?
Yeah.
You done? Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, sorry for interrupting you.
So one of the four horsewomen from MMA, she won her match. That was the only squash match that was there.
I'm pretty sure you're probably going to win it.
Yeah. It's either her or Kairi, I said. One or the other.
Yeah.
I could
You're right, Dan. Alex, put the thing down.
What? We will mute you again if we have to.
Don't mute me. That's just stupid.
Stop being schizo.
Okay.
The problem with this, right, was that they opened up with a good match in Kaylee Ray versus Princess Suggus.
Suggus, yeah.
Yeah. And then it just, the next two matches dipped. Bad the submission for Basler, that MMA one, because it's just cool. The fact she picks her up for a suplex and flips her right down and gets her in a chokehold, it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
The last match, right? So the last match on the very first episode was Abby Lee versus Jazzy Gabber. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Abby got hit with an elbow at one point so hard I felt it, and I actually legitimately thought she got knocked the fuck out. It was great. The last match in the second episode was Mia Yim versus Sarah Logan. That was the best match. Just because she slapped out a Tarantula. I love that. If you don't know what a Tarantula is, it's that thing that Tajiri used to do. He used to wrap himself around the ropes.
It's that thing Martina does when she drinks. Martina's the tarantula.
Tarantula.
It's a tarantula.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not getting the joke I'm trying to get across. Are you trying to get... Okay, one, have you ever watched The Republic of Tell You when they did the RoboCop shit tank? And two, have you ever watched OSW? Because they bring that up a lot.
No, yeah. He hasn't.
Hey, OSW was fantastic. You should all watch it more.
It's Alex you're talking to. It's the man who didn't realize A-Team was a TV show.
Yeah, especially you, Alex, because it'll educate you on fucking good wrestling from the 80s. Well,
he just needs to be educated in general.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to go on before Alex. I'm going to go on before Alex gets Alex off camera.
True.
Say that again, Alex, Dan?
I've got a couple of box sets of Written in the Years I could give to Alex. You know, I think it's got the 80s and the 90s.
No.
Oh, God.
It's amazing.
If you are Irish and you can't appreciate Reeling in the Years, get the fuck out.
Get out. Reeling in the Years is probably one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
This is the least wrestling podcast ever.
This is the only time we've veered off on anything but wrestling. Or wrestling related.
As soon as we started, it went into me versus Amy in an almost fist fight over the screen.
And
Here, to be fair, WWE more than anything, where there's very, very little wrestling and a lot of other just bullshit sprinkled here and there.
Yeah. But, like, we have OTT. Like, we just talk about that for 2 hours pretty easily.
Can we actually talk about Curtis Murray for a second?
Yeah.
So glad he's okay.
Yeah, that's when I don't even want to talk about the Mayo Classic. It was fine. It was grind. Fuck it.
I'm sorry, but if you saw what happened to him,
he cracked his skull off the side of the ring, didn't he? Essentially.
Fucking horrible. The fucking noise it made. How that didn't do. Like, how he didn't give himself a concussion or something worse.
Yeah. Very lucky. I don't like that dive.
Can I ask, did he get the injury and then try and get back up and continue the match when there's blood just pissing out of his back of his head?
Yeah.
Yes,
like
he gone back into the ring and like went for the count on it, and then he kicked out at 2, and then the look on Flip Gordon's face was just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I think he was just kind of on autopilot, or maybe even he didn't think it was as bad as everyone could say. But there was fucking blood everywhere. And like all over his head. It was like right like there on the head, so you could just see like the gash from where he hit. So then when he got him on another count and then got him out, and then like I can't think of it, one of the security lads and one of the girls came over, and like literally as they were bringing him past us, you could just see it. You're just like, ugh, no, it was horrible. But like he didn't have a concussion or anything. He wrestled again today in Uprising.
No way.
What?
Yeah, he had his massive uprising. Curtis is one to watch. He's a class little. He's a savage wrestler.
He was really nervous yesterday, and he was very sloppy. And you were kind of like, "Look, I know it's your debut. You know, slow it down, take it calm. We will support you, even if you just did a super kick. You'd be the most over guy in the match." But
I can understand that. Like, I can understand like why though he was so nervous. Like he was in with Will Ospreay and like.
I don't think it was the right place to debut somebody. Like, I'd never debut a young fella in a main event. It's just too much pressure, and they can really collapse under the pressure pretty easily.
Also want to point out such the fucking anti-climax of that goddamn match. It was like the Rumble all over again when Roman Reigns came out at number 30. Like, Justy's music came out for the first spot. What?
Did you call him Logan Bryce?
I said Justy.
I thought you said Logan Bryce came out. I was like, no.
No, it's like such an anti-climax when Justy came out. It was like Roman Reigns coming out again at 30 the Rumble.
But it's kind of what I thought they'd do. I thought they'd do it with Ryan Smile, because we'd be all like, oh my god, who is it? It's going to be somebody cool.
I had it built up so much in my head that it was going to be fucking Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have put money on it that it was going to be Mark Andrews. And then Justy came out, and you could just see everyone went... Like, the air was sucked from the room. It was horrific. I was like, oh, fucking... Now, I love Justin, but I was just like, that's not Mark.
It's an anticlimax, but it fits the story that they're telling with this new authority faction.
Oh God, yeah, completely. And like once you kind of step back and you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it makes perfect sense. And then another little bit is like, not Mark Andrews.
Can I just say that heel turn was so predictable the second Sammy D came out. I was like, he's turning.
Well, I think yeah, like we knew it was coming, but it's one of those ones where you're like, I kind of hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah. But it was always gonna because like Be Cool has Angel Cruz now, so they weren't gonna bring back the Nasties.
No, we knew
Sammy
that.
D wasn't gonna do anything else. Like he hasn't done anything for months.
We're working on Contenders.
Yeah, but like, and that was only the first one.
I want to go back to when it was before December happened. Oh, so Shield's all over again. I can't be dealing with this bullshit.
Can I just say though, for once I agree with Jim Cornette in that there is a dive I cannot stand, and it's this bouncing off the middle rope and going over the top. You're not leaving yourself any room, and there's been 2 injuries in Ireland from that dive this year. Like, Darren Carney did the same dive at Contenders and smacked his head on the floor.
Like, to bounce off the second rope.
Like that dive shouldn't be allowed. It's not safe. Like, there's no room to go. It's impossible to land it properly. And it's just causing injury at the moment. So, like, I don't want to see anybody do that fucking dive.
To be honest, I'd rather not see it, because I have seen the 2 lads being injured by it and both.
What they should start doing with dives like that, right? What most wrestlers should start doing is the way they used to do dives like that. Like when Jericho started coming up with the lion salt, do it over and over and over and over and over and over again in the fucking confines of like a training school before you even attempt to do it in front of a live crowd.
But like, this is a dive that you can practice it over and over again, but if the ring rope just isn't proper, or if you don't rotate enough, you're fucked. Like it's an almost
that's
impossible
why you gotta
dive
keep.
to do.
But that's the same with any dive. That's the same with any dive.
You fucking Nathan, you little bitch!
Oh.
Why?
What happened?
He put the fucking video up already. He told me he wasn't gonna put it up. I'm raging.
I want to watch it.
I know, so do I.
Oh,
Let's watch
we
it.
just
I don't
all
even
watch
give a shit.
the live reaction.
Yes, somebody stream it
Yeah,
now.
that's look at you then, fucking this will kill a couple of minutes.
I think this is actually at like 10 minutes, so it is our longest episode ever.
So eat up some time. We need to all start at the same time. We just slow the fuck down, play ball.
Sorry, yeah, my one. Has Alex gone off to watch it?
Don't you start doing anything?
Yeah.
Don't you start doing a Bob Orton thing with that crutch and keep using it in every episode?
I just want to point out, okay, I actually did legit need to use the crutch, okay?
Oh, no.
I don't want to tempt fate by continuing to use it, because then I will end up...
Only use it for filming, though. Don't use it. Don't keep walking around the place with it. But every time they start filming an episode, just happen to have it with you and then just crack somebody over the back with it or something and just fucking run away or something.
No, I can't. In charge of time, we're going to be at OTT, and I don't want to have it with me for hours. Right.
That's true. It's a bit of a pain.
Oh, jeez, we can still hear him, but we can't see him. That's why we're watching right now.
Are we watching?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Correct is the best one headphones. Are we all ready to play?
I'm already playing.
I have to mute. I can't hear you.
Did you get to the intro yet? The intro's on. Oh my god, that's amazing. That rat bastard robbing my joke. That's my joke, Alex.
His voice goes higher.
His voice went up like 10 octaves.
You know that when I hit him. Winner of King of Trios, thank you very much. Not a loser. And the viewership went up when I joined.
We're having fun. This is why IWF title is a lock in the hands with your session prints, nibble arms in the hands of sophisticated man like Nathan McDonough and Mark Redmond. You will take that title. Nathan McDonough is nothing but a charlatan poser. And if you were going to give them themselves with tricks like you do, with fake little fuckers who are on the line to start in the back, then Alex, I think we got this stuff to burn you. You say that now. Without that little door, you are going to be sitting by yourself in your bed, whacking off to all your new Listen, if you listen there, oh, there's Kenny Omega's career. There goes Kenny Omega's. Oh my god.
This is for you, Aaron.
Never be as good as Carl. I'm going to just.
Thank you.
I'll sit in the corner. There you go.
Isn't that the Hulk music?
Yeah. She's looking in the bins.
That was good.
What drugs were used in the making of this video?
That was great.
Right.
Yeah, you can see he wants to kill me.
This is the reason why I'm not happy with Alex. And when his voice goes up an octave, when I shoved him, he wasn't opening it at all. And it literally threw him off completely. And I realized there was more than just the one slap to the face, because we had to do like 2 or 3 takes at him. Just hitting him in the face.
You bitch.
He deserved it.
Well, yeah, but still. Shouldn't hit people.
You can't go, yeah, but still, it's admitting that you deserved it.
So, like, you were just as bad.
Can I make this?
Yeah?
Yes.
Can we invite our champion back on?
Yeah.
I don't need 2 fucking club pricks in this already. We already have Alex.
This isn't around.
All is right with the word again.
I'm gonna have to get my headphones there, lads, because I need feedback from this fucking thing. Wait, Dan.
Yes.
Are you listening to this? Are you actually watching the podcast on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm listening to you now. I had just turned down there for a while so I could watch the video.
Alright, cool. No, because every time I talk, your volume goes.
Yeah, there's.
I had the volume turned down because my headphones were shit and yours are louder than my headphones.
Mine were, I couldn't hear it while he was.
Has 2/4 of the podcast just left? Like,
I'm still here. Sorry.
Jesus, because Aaron just walked off as well. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back.
I've got to look for my headphones. So.
You're normally wearing them.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, I know. I just woke up from my nap not a half an hour. My brain wasn't at all.
Why you slept? That's terrible.
I played this app that I downloaded to help me wake up because it was supposed to be really loud, and it was a piece of shit.
It'd be worse. You could set it for PM instead of AM instead of PM, and that's always a nasty one.
We'd have woken him up anyway.
I know.
I can still hear like the background.
Yeah, I know what the fucking. Actually, wait. I know what it is.
What is the headphones for?
My TV. Because it's into my TV. Whenever I talk on this, it comes off my TV. The microphone's picking it up, and it's just basically just looping. So that's the reason I have to have headphones on when we do this podcast. God damn it. This podcast is professional.
Yeah,
Fucking
That's what they're all too.
Totally professional. Completely professional.
Oh, we never talked about this. Dolph Ziggler's brother got put away for 15 years for fucking murder.
Yeah, but he did kill somebody, so.
He was,
Totally professional.
was he... Totally professional. Fuck. Ah. Jesus, that was perfect.
We're like 40 minutes in and I've covered one topic.
We covered 2 topics.
We covered 2.
We covered
the Mae Young Classic and the IWF, OTT.
Yeah.
We didn't cover
Yeah,
one match.
We've done a live reaction to something.
What?
Alex, stop nitpicking.
Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be different this week and give some New Japan news. Ooh. Switching shit up.
Okay, I'm confused. Sorry, just before you do this, Aaron is giving the New Japan news and Alex was fucking like talking about what the hell happened.
I actually want to give you this news because I saved it yesterday knowing that he'd be interested in it. So,
okay.
It's about the New Japan World title. Okada is facing Evil for the IWGP Heavyweight title, and Ishii versus Naito in the Tokyo Dome for the Challengers right on September 10th. So
yes, the Destruction shows and King of Pro Wrestling. you know what's funny? They have the exact same tag match on the undercard of every show. It's a 3-way tag match. Everyone is for the tag titles, involving the same teams. Because that's how New Japan roll.
Well, that's like an old school way of doing it, though. Well, actually, that's what WWE do as well. They do that at house shows.
Yeah, but not 3 days in a row. Main shows, like these titles will probably change hands on all 3 nights.
But WWE doesn't care about their titles at all.
They
don't mean anything.
The title has long been just a prop in WWE. It doesn't mean anything.
It does
Yeah,
mean something.
Sorry, that's something we forgot to talk about from Raw.
What?
Let's get the title back.
Oh yeah, we're used to it by now. It's like, oh yeah, Raw's title. Yeah, whatever.
I won the title back?
That is the whole thing of Sasha can't defend her title. Every time she's defended her title, she's
Oh, she's Roman. I don't care anymore. Sasha Banks was my favourite in NXT call-up. Out of all the group that got called up at the start, right, she was it. She was my favourite one. And now she could get released and I just got...
wait for her to turn heated. When she's heated, she will be amazing.
I don't think so. I think she's just lost it on the main roster. It's just gone.
No,
because as a heel,
because she's a face. She was a heel in NXT.
Yeah, but they've made her now.
She's a damn good heel as well in NXT. And the moment she went to the main roster, she was a face.
No,
she killed them.
Go back heel again.
Well, she was a tweener in Team BAD, but that was about it. And then a heel for like 2 months after that, and then turned face.
Just fucking useless.
Can we just all agree that the women's divisions have both been booked horribly, and I do not ever...
SmackDown's one hasn't.
...see anything. It hasn't.
Well, no, every single title run in SmackDown has been at least, 3 months? The only time they had to cut a reign short, and it was short, because it was Naomi, they thought she was going to miss Mania.
You look at Naomi's last reign, and all she did is she defended it like twice on pay-per-view, and 3 times against Lana, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
Like...
She's still defending it. She was still defending it. All the title reigns have been at best passable. It's been booked well. It's the only thing in the show that's been consistently booked okay.
I know. The SmackDown tag division is usually okay as well.
Yeah, and the tag division, the Usos, regrettably, are probably, I don't want to say it because I love the Revival so much, but they're probably one of the best tag teams in the world right now.
Yeah.
You just show...
There was something earlier about the Usos. That they have never appeared on the main show of WrestleMania, but they've been on every pre-show.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's continuing. Like the fact that they're on the pre-show for SummerSlam, there is something about them on pre-shows. Because that would be on the main card.
It's just how tag teams roll in WWE, though.
I can't say it's like it's how tag teams are. I just think it's the way they use the Usos, because I think they know it's like they're going to put on a decent match. And it would be, it's like, at least we can probably get people to actually win with this.
No, because when they run over in time, their first instinct is, let's put the women's match on the kickoff show, and then the tag match, and then whatever mid-card title there is. They will never relegate a feud to the kickoff show. It's always the mid-card, lower-card titles.
Jay and Usos feud was relegated to the kickoff show.
Yeah.
Do you think half the time when you speak, or do you just say words and just hope that they make a coherent sentence?
But how many times has the tag match been on the kickoff show over some shitty match?
Because now,
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let's just put this in a bit of perspective here for a second. The Usos match against New Day, which was a built-up feud, was put on the pre-show, and yet Rusev second, like, one RKO. And Big Cass and Big Show and that fucking Sharkade were on the main card. I'm sorry, Big Show, Cass, and Enzo should have been on the pre-show. There was no need to have that fuckology on the main show. No need whatsoever.
I'm agreeing, yeah.
They could have done the Usos and the New Day on that.
But that's what I'm saying. They will never relegate a show, something like Big Cass and Big Show, to the kickoff show. They will always put the tag belts on the kickoff show. It doesn't really matter.
You know what's even
it's just how they do it.
I think there was the one where they weren't on the pre-show. They got relegated for a match between Cesaro and RVD that had no...
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Had no reason of being on the pre-show.
They even got kicked off the pre-show.
I just think it's because Vince McMahon just doesn't like having that many Samoans on the main show. He's like, I don't want the Usos to outshine Roman.
They are actually good. That's the freaking thing that's annoying.
Exactly. That's why Vince mentality thinking.
Well, apparently Vince has never liked tag teams.
No, he doesn't. But I'm actually pretty surprised because one Royal Rumble, I think it was 2015 Royal Rumble, every single match was a tag match.
Yeah. Which was weird.
And then there was the triple threat match, and then the actual Rumble match. They were all
everything Vince doesn't like, right? Vince doesnn't like three-ways for the main title, and he doesn't like tag team matches, and that entire show was built around those two things.
But, yeah,
this wasn't Vince booking the show. That or he was.
I'm almost positive that was when Vince. It was like rumored that Vince hadn't been well or something like that, and he hadn't been attending any of the shows.
Ah, well, there you go. So
I was like, explain someone. What is it that Vince doesn't like again? Sure, let's just bring Teddy Long in. Teddy, you book the card.
Well done, boy. Actually, have you heard like what's happening on Twitter at the moment with Road Dogg?
No.
Right? Road Dogg, BG James. Right? So he's been the head writer of SmackDown for the last couple of months. Essentially,
clearly.
The year, right? So every from the moment SmackDown started taking a dip, he's been the head writer because it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great this year, right?
Yeah.
You give him any sort of criticism on Twitter in any way, shape, or form, he'll block you.
Yep. He's not taking criticism well at all.
No, at all. At all.
If you don't then he's
It was the 1 week where SmackDown had a really, really good week, and people were messaging him and go, "Oh yeah, now we have a good week." So like, that was even when he was getting positives about the episode, when he was like, he couldn't even take that because all other weeks was such bad criticism.
I don't know. If you even call him out on booking though, he's like, "Oh, wins and losses don't matter," and I'm like, "Yeah, they fucking do."
Yes,
Like,
they
you twit.
fucking do. Wins and losses matter, dude.
How is he head writer of the show when he doesn't think wins and losses matter?
Because, right?
Do you remember the original gimmick he had coming in to WWE? It was the roadie, and it turned out that to Jeff Jarrett, and it turned out he was the one doing all the singing. Maybe that's what's happening backstage. Someone else is actually doing all the writing and stuff like that. And Jeff Jarrett.
I think someone said that already. I can't remember where I heard that.
Oh, fuck it anyway. I thought I was been really smart there.
Well, someone might have said that he's doing what remember when the steroid trial was going on with WWE, and they brought in that fella Bill Watts to replace Vince McMahon for those like 6-7 months because because Vince obviously couldn't do the day-to-day things like anymore because he was in a fucking court case for his life. So it kind of came out. No, it didn't really kind of come out, but Bruce Pritchard has said many times that he's just Road Dogg might be like him in the sense that he's not really that good. It's just that he has a lot of good people around him, and he just sort of leeches off their ideas. And just goes, I came up with all of this by myself. This is on me.
Wasn't he doing that already when your man Ryan Tran was writing the show? And everybody was like, "Oh, Road Dogg's really cool. Like, he's changing the show." And then Ryan Tran moved to Raw, and Road Dogg was by himself, and it's been shit ever since. And people are like, "Oh, it's actually good." All right, yeah, fuck you, Road Dogg.
Holy shit, we've got 3 viewers. We got
say that?
Fuck!
Say that.
I saw a tree down there at the side at one point. It was like,
You're the plague that gets rid of them. As soon as they realise they're being watched.
Oh, I forgot about something. I forgot about Alex. Alex, you wanted to have an old rant on the podcast about the PWI top 500. I'm going to tell you why you're probably wrong about everything that you said, and we'll move on with our lives. So,
well, Kenny Omega didn't deserve to be anywhere near the top 20.
What?
Why?
Hold on a second. You're 1 second into your argument and you're wrong. The point of that list is supposed to be big matches over just not just the wrestling, but like how they've influenced wrestling in the last year. He's had 3 6 or 5.5 star matches, and he's won the very first ever IWGP US title.
Watch New Japan, so shut up. Now, the thing is, right? He has every
come back.
Okay.
That's just no.
I don't think Alex see, this is how me and Amy and Dan get our arguments together. We go over them in our heads about 100 times as the week goes on. get ready for the arguments back and prove why they're wrong, or at least try to. You just sort of just go, I'm arguing about this. Don't.
Yeah, you literally just start spewing and hope that none of us will pick up on anything.
Kenny Omega, when you look at him, he lost in the first round in New Japan Cup. He lost to Okada twice. He didn't do anything in the months in between. He's won a title that was basically made for him and hasn't been defended since. And then he lost in the G1. The PWI is all about win-loss ratios, and he's only won
Not
like
all about wins-loss ratios.
That's not what the list is based on, though.
He hasn't been good enough in kayfabe terms to be in the top 20 when there's just so many other dudes who have had much better years. Like, Naito should have been a lot higher than him. Like, Naito should have been over him. Tanahashi should have been over him. Fucking Strowman, Ambrose, all of them should have been above
Kenny
him.
Omega broke Dave Meltzer's rating 4 times in a year.
And I'm usually the one
No, cemented him in that top position.
he doesn't deserve
I'm
to be in the top
surprised he wasn't number 1, to be honest. And I get why Okada was. That's the only reason I didn't give a shit.
All I'm saying is, from a New Japan mark perspective, Omega doesn't deserve it.
Don't call wrestling fans marks. Some of them find that offensive.
I'm okay
Dude,
with
just
calling
assume I'm a mark.
How dare you assume our markism?
Anyway, yes. So that's my thing. I don't think Kenny Omega deserves to be in top 20, and Kento Miyahara should have been number 2. And the guys watching that clearly don't watch wrestling because Kento Miyahara should have
Who
been
was
number
number
2.
10? Who was in the top 10 again? Is it Okada, Styles, Reigns, Omega?
Owens, Miz. Was Strowman there? Or Brock Lesnar was there.
I actually, right, I'm probably going to say something that's not going to like. I don't think The Miz should have been in there.
The top
Yeah,
10.
In the last
He's not.
year, think about it, he hasn't had a lot of in-ring stuff. It's mainly been his promos that have got him. Yeah, so I asked that your reason I didn't think he should have been in the top 10, but
What was it, Backlash?
in the top 10. He's been TNA champion for like 8 months of the year. Like, he's been pretty good.
who, Bobby
He should have
Lashley? Yeah. I actually agree with Alex for once, and then Amy's just there busting the gun.
You okay there, Amy?
Right, I have the whole thing in front of me, so that's great.
Well,
What is happening?
huh?
What is happening?
Naito was 12 though. That's still good. That's still
He's
good.
not. He's Continental champion for most of the year. He's been one of their biggest draws and won the G1.
So, but he was under the likes of Bobby Roode, who's had a decent showing in NXT. He's behind Dean Ambrose, who we already ran through his shit in the forum. Tag team champion, WWE champion, had a great few major styles last year. You put him behind Samoa Joe, who had a great showing in NXT before he came to the main roster.
Joe, though, because Joe hasn't held a title or anything. Naito was champion for like 6 months.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one. Maybe switch Joe for Naito, because Joe, although he has been showing a good year, he hasn't really done anything major since he won the NXT title. And I only went as far as I think June of this year, so he hasn't, not even his feud with Lesnar onwards could even count.
All right.
Nakamura was ahead of him. Omega was ahead of him. Reigns. People were complaining about Reigns, and I'm just like, I feel like ending The Undertaker's career is probably good enough in and of itself to be top 10.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't have been in like.
In that sense here, he has had an awful lot of like high-profile matches as well. Anyway.
Yeah.
But he's lost them all. He's lost every pay-per-view match since WrestleMania.
Yeah, but he's still been involved. Again, they're not taking in just a win-loss ratio into this. It's everything.
It's an overall thing.
Like, Alex, you're literally that list, and all you take, Alex, you look at that list, and all you take into it is win-loss.
And title reigns.
You don't take any
quality of opponents.
But you have to take in the fact of how they've actually affected professional wrestling as well in the last year. That's what you're not taking into account. And I think that's where the list...
He was US champion, and he was nothing before that. And then after that, he lost from Mania onwards. Like,
again, not just win, loss.
But he hasn't
It's
done
everything.
much.
He's had the feud of the year with Braun Strowman.
But he lost said feud.
Doesn't matter.
So Strowman should be
It doesn't matter win, loss.
Strowman should be higher than Roman.
Where is Strowman on this? Actually,
Like, Strowman should be higher than Roman by that.
can I just say something that's very weird? Paige is on the top 50 female wrestlers, and she's 21. No, sorry, she's 19. She has.
Are they counting wrestling matches outside of WWE?
Which are 0.
The ones that she has, like the intergender matches she has with Alberto.
I hope so.
And in all fairness to her, she has contributed to the world of wrestling with those tapes. I got Xavier Woods more notice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Who's
What's
number
on the
one?
list?
He actually is Asuka.
Oscar, was she?
Yeah.
No one's
Like, she has to be.
3.
What? This is bullshit.
Now, to be fair, the 2 people that are ahead of her did have probably the best women's feud of the last decade, and that's Charlotte and Sasha Banks. The only 2 women that are ahead of her.
No
But,
fucking way.
Yeah. Asuka was.
You understand? There's no way Sasha should be ahead of Asuka. No way.
I know.
So you've had Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Asuka, Becky Lynch. Hey.
Who's done nothing
Bailey.
since like January.
I didn't put Becky in of Sasha.
Bailey, Jade. Who's Jade again? Oh, she's in TNA. Natalia, Gail Kim, Sexy Star, and Sienna.
Hold on, Gail Kim's been injured for most of the year.
I think that's she'd
Sorry,
say.
hold on again. Gail Kim might have been injured for most of the year, and yet Paige, who hasn't wrestled in a year, is on that fucking list. Apparently, it's slim pickings when it comes to the
These
top.
PWI people clearly watch about as much wrestling as I do.
Like, listen to the people that Paige is ahead in this. Nia Jax, Santina Garrett, Naomi, Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke is in the top 20. What?
Fuck off.
Jesus Christ. Alexa Bliss is 29. Alexa Bliss is... Fuck this list.
Okay, you know what? We need to write a strongly worded email to PWI with regards to...
He's our fucking shite, lads. You know about as much as Alex.
Alex might be right when he said that there's things wrong with this list.
Yeah.
Eva Marie. Eva Marie is 50.
She doesn't even...
She didn't even
do anything.
She's...
She didn't do anything. She was tits and ass. It wasn't even real tits and ass.
Well, her tits were probably fake, but that ass was probably real. That was too small to be fake.
Who?
Carmella's only fun.
Who?
What about Eva Marie? Just so in case you can hear us there for one.
In all fairness, he was right in his question. Who?
I don't think Keane's going to like this. Jessica Havoc was 39.
Oh.
Again, I'm going to say...
If you listen quietly, you can hear Keane screaming right now.
No.
Why? Does he like Jessica Havoc or does he hate her?
He loves her.
Yeah.
His obsession with Jessica Havoc is my obsession with Alexa Bliss.
Oh.
Oh no, I think you're. Yeah.
Oh no, my obsession with Alexa Bliss is strong, and the fact that we get to meet and the fact that in January I get to meet a couple of the roster when I go to Philadelphia, I am shitting it in case I actually get to meet her because I will probably go like this.
Restraining order. Or you're just not going to come back at all because you'll be in an American prison.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Bye.
It was unintentional sexual harassment, I swear.
I just fell upon her chest and my hands happened to just
fall into her vagina.
Whoa. Jesus, Amy.
We lost an hour this week. I'm proud of you. I'm genuinely proud of you.
Thanks, Dan.
So what I'm going to do, just to mix it up a bit, I'm going to go through the people who are near the bottom of the list and see do we know any of the names.
Where was Seth Rollins in the men's list, actually?
Well, if you were just on about Flip Gordon there in OTT, he was 480.
Oh.
It's just a collection. Oh, that's nice. That's good.
I actually really like Flip Gordon. He took the sign.
He's good.
Seth Rollins was 16.
Was what?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny, he had the feud of Triple H.
John Cena was 19. Fuck that shit.
Thank God.
Fuck
Yeah,
that
that's
shit. He hasn't been around. He still had two of. If Okada and Omega didn't happen in January, his match with AJ Styles should have been 6 stars at the Rumble. Fuck me, that was a great match. That was a fucking incredible match. Even though match of SummerSlam was an incredible match. AJ Styles beat John Cena clean twice in a year.
Yeah.
That is kind of unheard of.
It just doesn't get enough praise just because it's John Cena. Chris Jericho was 22. Brock Lesnar was only 25.
Well, Brock Lesnar.
Not 2.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah.
Pete Dunne was 29.
That's Goldberg.
Say that again, Dan?
Goldberg, where's he?
I'm still going down the list like slowly but surely. So when we get to Goldberg, I'll tell you. No, just to make sure. No, he's on up. No,
yeah. 30.
Make this list.
People like Mary Skrull, he was 31. Jinder Mahal was 30. Finn Balor was 28, which, considering the fact that he was out for most of the year, is quite cool. Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes were 32 and 33. Braun Strowman was 34. Alberto El Patron was 37. Tanahashi was 39. Nick Jackson was 40, but then Matt Jackson was 42. And Sami Zayn was in between the two of them.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy
we need something generic just to throw in.
Matt Hardy was 45 only. Considering the fact that in the last year he was probably the hottest thing in professional wrestling at one point. It's kind of surprising. Tyler Bate was 50.
Shit, yeah.
No.
Jeff Hardy was 51. Sheamus was 57.
Should probably be a bit higher though. He's been like Raw Tag Champ like 3 times this year.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good feud as well. Didn't he have that Best of 7 series with Sheamus in this year, or did that end at SummerSlam, or did that start at SummerSlam?
It
started at SummerSlam, didn't it?
Started at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was a good feud.
Yeah.
I put him top 40.
Even the show.
Ishii was 74. Alex.
Sorry. Like Ishii. Everybody likes Ishii though.
Big Cass was 94.
Who?
Big Cass.
Big Cass. Like what? How?
94. I have no idea. That's weird.
Big Cass is actually going to be better now, to be fair.
Oh, he's going to come back as a super face. That Music Kitchen he returns, it's going to fucking pop the roof off the place, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
He's already have very, very music, so people won't have a fucking clue who it is. He's had like 2 different music at this stage. So if they give him something new when he comes back, I'm like, who the fuck is it?
Yeah.
And Big Ass.
But still, I think Big Ass.
Bearing in mind, it's not going to be a surprise return though for Big Cass. They're going to fucking reap that for everyone.
I actually don't think they are. I think that they're just going to...
I say they will. They'll do it as a reunion of Cass and Enzo. He comes back from injury. He's had a chance to see where he went wrong. Can
you imagine if the night after WrestleMania again, Big Cass fucking comes back with Enzo? I actually think the roof might completely blow off the place.
I prefer the two of them.
Are they going to do a 24?
Enzo was 110. What was that? Died of death. Cool.
This is a very WWE centric list.
It's not because there's a couple of it is, but there's a lot of it's not WWE eccentric. It's American, very American based.
Like even Europe doesn't get its fair.
It doesn't.
Where's Walter? Like he should be top 100 easily.
Where's Pete Dunne?
Walter.
Pete Dunne was 29. Like 29. Yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah.
That's better.
An awful lot of the lads that were in like the UK tournament actually placed on this. And they did place some decent spots on it as well.
Yeah.
Are
you actually gonna go through all 500?
I'm just kind of looking out for certain names and just seeing. Ryback was 128. What the fuck?
He actually wrestled.
He still wrestles. He
He
still
doesn't
wrestles.
does podcasts.
No, he does. He still wrestles. He has the was it the House of Glory Championship or something like that?
What?
Yeah.
I thought he was just doing a podcast where he
What's his name?
for an
Fucking
hour
friend there recently.
counter it.
Oh my God! I think Alex might die when I say this. He's actually ahead of Kota Ibushi.
So Kota Ibushi was Tiger Mask W for fucking most of the year. He's done nothing.
Oh, isn't he? All right, then I thought you might have just blown up because it's just he's a Japanese guy.
Ibushi's
I
only been
can't
around
wait
for
to
like a
know.
month. I'm not
He
like,
doesn't really. He doesn't really give a fuck though about wrestling, does he?
no, he's part.
Yeah.
Apparently, his parents are really like, wealthy. He just does this as a hobby.
Daddy, I want a backyard wrestling ring. Okay.
Jesus. Suddenly he's English, okay. Rey Mysterio was 125.
Yeah, he's toward the indies.
Matt Riddle was 116. Cassius Ohno was 115, which is weird considering the fact that he had a lot of great matches to share in the indies.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
Jack Gallagher was 145.
Stop breaking Kate.
Sonata was 153.
Decent.
Evil was 168.
If they did this list today, Evil would be a lot higher because he had an awesome G1.
Like, there's a lot of Japanese guys in the hundreds, right? In the low hundreds, but I can't pronounce half of their names. So fuck that everything. I'm trying to even pronounce some of them.
Do what Alex does and just make it up.
Yeah, very good.
I'm
Good
going to
idea.
just completely... Jesus Christ.
Enunciate.
What does it say? What does it
Maybach Tamagotchi.
Who the fuck?
Taniguchi?
Maybach. Is it Ryusuke Taguchi?
No, it says Maybach in big letters. Taniguchi.
He's probably some weirdo from some other Japanese promotion.
Togi
There's
Makabe.
Oh, Togi Makabe. Fucking hell.
He's 174. He was on 171. Holy shit! Rob Conway still wrestles.
Yeah.
He was only like he's only like 26 or something.
No, no, not Rob. That's not Rob. Ooh, lovely, Dan. Great stuff. No, but he's that. You're thinking of Rene Dupree. Rene Dupree does still wrestle. I'm surprised Rob Conway still wrestles. Fucking hell.
Weird intro theme.
Yeah, he's that awful. Oh god, that was bad, right? Oh.
It's just a me.
Hideki Suzuki.
Yeah,
He was 212.
he's kind of a freelancer over in Japan.
Yoshitatsu was 225.
God.
I'm surprised he even wrestles anymore.
Like his crowd reaction is dead. Like when he comes out, crowds actually just kind of go, "Who the fuck?"
Jushin Thunder Liger was 263.
Yeah, he's been a jobber most of the year.
I'm just looking out for the Japanese names, not even paying attention to anybody else. I really should, like. Ultimo Dragon was 356. Scott Hall's son was 405.
Huh?
Something like that.
Matches.
Isn't he in the
I
Bullet Club?
love how you just said Scott Hall as
Yeah.
opposed to his actual
Cody
Scott
Hall.
Hall's son.
Name Cody or something.
My favourite new wrestling name ever, Captain New Japan. He was 441.
Jesus Christ. He hasn't even appeared since January.
Zach Owen was 407.
He's
Rob
apparently
Conway
in
was
Solo.
the UA heavyweight champion until quite recently. So he is actually
Was
still
he?
wrestling. It's not right.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
If you actually look through the NWA heavyweight, look through the NWA heavyweight title for the last couple of years, and you'll just see a lot of former WWE guys and a load of names where you're just going, yeah, that looks like a man that would be NWA World Heavyweight Champion. There's a fella named Cheeseburger and he's 465.
Oh yeah, he's in Ring of Honor. He looks like he's some like 5,000 meter runner. He's He's so skinny. It's oh my god, it's weird.
That's kind of it. They're all the notable names. The rest of them going down. For some fucking reason, this list only goes to 498.
Who's number 498 though?
You have to unlock the other two.
Kitaro?
Who?
Kikutaro? Kikutaro.
Who knows? Probably some DDT guy or something.
Probably.
So
Oh yeah.
that was the PWI 500.
That was fun. We just killed a good 10 minutes off that. So well done, lads. That's
Good
great.
job, guys.
I literally I have to actually log off on this one to finish getting ready for tomorrow, lads. So
Right, so let's go through our favorite feuds. And we'll start with Amy.
yeah, okay, I can literally only think of 3 for this one. So like my favorite 3 were the one that actually got me started into wrestling, which was the Royal Rumble 94. Jesus, damn. I was breaking the camera. 94 Royal Rumble. It's just like phase up. Between Undertaker and Yokozuna. So that was like the first feud that I actually really enjoyed. Like got like one of my favorites because it was that one that got me into wrestling to begin with. And getting a chance to look back over all the promos and stuff like that, it is one of those things like they fucking knew exactly what they were doing. It was brilliant. Like Yokozuna being terrified, like claustrophobic and all that kind of shit. And then like having everyone then come out as well afterwards just to kind of end the whole thing for the Undertaker to come back, all that thing. So that was like the first one. The second one, Alex had already said it in the group chat. What my second one would be. He goes, "Oh, we definitely know that Shawn Michaels and Triple H is going to be on that." The reason, and actually I will say is my third favorite one was Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose after he broke up the Shield. And the reason why I think that the two of these feuds were like my favorite rivalries is because when I think it's when you have 2 lads in the ring that are working together that know each other so well, it really is kind of everything else kind of goes out the window. It's like, let's just fucking go out there and beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Like you do kind of have a legit things like, yeah, they kind of come across that they do want to kill each other. Like you do kind of get invested into it.
That's the same thing I had though with my 2 favorite matches. Was Peter Bate and Sasha Banks and Bailey. You knew they were friends, but you also knew they want to kill shit out of each other. So it's great.
It is. I think that's what sells the rivalry is when you know that the two of them, you know that kind of some of the shit that they're coming out with is probably true stuff as well. Because like, of course, they're going to use a real life situation to throw it in, just to kind of twist the knife or like have that little own in jokes of their own. They're going to have that. They're going to throw it in, and it's going to make everything work well. It makes it seem real. Like obviously we all know it's a scripted thing, but it still gives you that real feeling too. It's like, you think that they do hate each other. And I love that because it gets you so invested into everything. That's kind of what keeps you coming back. And if they did feuds like that now, unreal. Like if they actually had a feud and they continued it on, they actually built it up and then went on with
booking.
Exactly. It would be so much. Your product would be so much better. Just look. Like if you look back on some of the old stuff, like even the feud with Randy Orton and Evolution, in that sense, that was 2 years, kind of like in a build-up, by having Randy in like into Evolution, and then like the for 2 years, and the second year, you can kind of start to see the cracks starting to show. Randy was getting too big for his boots and all that jazz, and then it all came in when he won the title from Vacant.
We'll say Stevie Richards.
Yeah.
Stevie Richards,
he won the title. But like it was one of those things. You're like, this is fucking brilliant. Like you truly believe that they hated each other, and that's what makes those rivalries actually worthwhile in watching. Just purely because of excellent storytelling.
It feels real.
Exactly, but I really think the only way you'll get something like that is if the two people have a history together. None of this kind of bullshit have been like, oh no, well they came up together from NXT. No, I mean a real history with each other, like working together for have that built up, have those years built up between them.
What
And
do
you
you
will
think?
get an
Or
amazing story.
even in the case of just when you have two people that you know are friends, and it could be because they just came up through NXT, like Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Two of them
But like
didn't really know. Two of them didn't know each other when they joined first, and they had probably the best match of the entire Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, they had a chance to build and work together for a while before it actually kind of got to that point. It wasn't like, okay, you two like you've never really had a feud together, but you've worked in the same company together, so we're just going to shove you together. We're just going to see where this goes. And then majority of the time it will fall flat because you're like, they're not really great at telling the story together. And you know why? It's because they don't have the chemistry together.
Yeah.
If you find two people that have that amazing chemistry, whether whether as a tag team or as opponents, you know you're going to get a good match out of it. That's what you need to build on. They just don't do that anymore.
A lot of companies don't really.
What?
A lot of companies don't. It's like attention spans are just shorter than ever, and it's like, did they feud like last year? I think so. All right, cool.
But that's the thing. That's the thing is that the reason why people are like, oh, I can't remember if they feuded last year. I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure they did. They probably, but their storyline was never actually finished. All of a sudden, oh no, we're going to throw you into a new storyline because someone's back from an injury.
Well, that's kind of what I like about New Japan is that like two guys can face off in a match, and then 2 years later, it's like you beat me and I never got over it, so
like,
I want your title. And it's
something
like,
that really bothered
there's
me.
something there at least.
But like, what really bothered me in a sense was when I can't remember what it was run up to now, but it was like I can't remember what it was to run up to. I think it was for like the Universal Championship or something like that when they were doing like all the matches, and they had Bray came out and like distracted Finn, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're building to a Bray and Finn Balor feud. This is going to be savage." And then all of a sudden, they kind of forgot about that and went, "Actually, no, we're actually going to put Seth and Bray in a feud together." Make any sense because there's no reason for this. You've already started to build on Finn, and then all of a sudden they had a match at Payback, and you're kind of like, oh, shut up, Alex. Oh, it's over. And then the next night, no, it's still not. Next night on Raw, do the fucking rematch, and again, it didn't. It's like it ended again. You're kind of like, oh, maybe this is the end of the feud, and then all of a sudden, well, that doesn't really end anything because it kind of left it open. And then all of a sudden, oh no, he is back to feuding with Finn again. Okay. They never finished anything. They don't finish anything. They started again.
But
And then when everyone thought that fucking Braun and Roman had finished, and you're kind of like, oh, that was actually a really good feud. That really worked. Oh no, he's not done with him yet. Oh no, he's still definitely not done with him yet. Jesus, the chairs aren't even done with him yet. Like, it just kind of...
But to be fair, when it came to that feud between the two of them,
oh, don't get me wrong, I fucking loved it. Like, I absolutely adored it.
But like
I did adore it, but it just kind of,
the whole basis of their feud as well was, "I'm not finished with you." That was the entire basis of the feud. Even when he got injured and he came back, it's just like, I'm beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. That's how I'm starting this. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, okay, I was using it as an example, but like, what I mean is like they could have ended that. And it would have been a perfect ending to it. And yeah, they did keep going. And I do like the fact that, he wasn't finished with him yet. And I do adore those two chair shots so much. Just because it comes out of nowhere. You see a chair flying through the air. Like, it's just beautiful.
No, he's going to face Brock Lesnar at No Mercy.
Pretty much.
Right, we'll go with Alex. No, I want to go with Alex next. Just get this New Japan shit out of the way.
I actually think like most of mine are from WWE, so fuck you. So number one is CM Punk and Jeff Hardy from like 08-09. Like, I still thought wrestling was real at this point, and Jeff Hardy was white hot, and CM Punk did some of his best heel work. Like, it was an immense feud. It really put CM Punk over.
That was the Straight Edge Society, wasn't it?
I think it was around that time.
No, it was. That was right smack bang in the middle of that whole shit, wasn't it? He just won the title off Jeff at SummerSlam, and then it led into the Straight Edge Society.
I think so. I can't really remember. It was like 8 years ago. So that's number one because it put Punk over, and I loved Jeff Hardy at the time. So it was a good feud. Number two is Jimmy Havoc and Will Ospreay from Progress. I'm a Jimmy Havoc mark. This was a 2-year build to one huge grudge match. It was just awesome because you legit thought Jimmy Havoc was going to murder Will Ospreay, and it kind of put Ospreay over. That.
What are you laughing over?
You didn't, Dan, he didn't see it. Dan, he didn't see it.
I'll go. Hang on.
Stan, I love that.
But anyway. Go ahead.
Yes, number three is Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels because that feud is the best feud of all time, no doubt.
You just took one of my feuds, dickhead.
You can use it as well. You can do it more
that's fucking. I only had 4. I know I only have 3.
Number 4 is Tanahashi and Okada because it put Okada over as the ace, and it was like a 2-year build full of awesome matches. And number 5, Cena and Punk because it was a pretty cool rivalry.
The summer of Punk.
Well, the 2 weeks of Punk.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Irish summer of Punk.
There you go.
So yeah, that's me. On to somebody else.
Detail.
And only one New Japan one in there, Aaron. So fuck you.
We're still an indie smack inside there, so. Do you want to go next, Dan? What are you guys? We're finished with you now. We're finished with you now, Alex. We're done with you.
I forgot to write anything down because I wasn't prepared to be on at all, so I've just kind of went through my head. Yeah, I'll take them. So I have 4 off the top of my head.
Right,
and I'll kind of order of when they kind of happen. Just to, basically, the first real WWE I seen was No Mercy '99, Hardys and Edge and Christian. So then in turn the rivalry between the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. That would be my first one because they produced the TLC matches, best matches of my childhood. So. Big part there. The next one is Triple H and Mick Foley. Personally, because that feud brought back Cactus Jack, which is my favorite face of Foley. And we got to see some great matches like the Street Fight at the Royal Rumble and then Mick's retirement match. No Way Out. How was that? Great. Then the other one is The Rock and Triple H. Everyone goes on about The Rock and his best opponent being Stone Cold, but I think his best has always been against Triple H because
that was aggressive. The best thing, that's one of my feuds as well. The best thing about that feud is the fact that that's aggressive heel Triple H.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not cunty Triple H. It's not smacky Triple H. It's aggressive. I'm going to break you in half to get what I want, Triple H. And that's why I love it.
That's the thing. Triple H has always been a heel for me, and that's why I've never liked him. But I still have a T-shirt of him and don't have a T-shirt of The Rock, which is really, really strange.
The best thing about that feud as well is that The Rock never really won that one.
No. I know he was champ for a couple of he had a little run here and there during it, but he never had the same reign as Triple H did. Yeah.
Triple H really won that. I think the best thing with that, remember a couple of years ago when The Rock came back, I think it was on SmackDown, and they had that promo in the back. And so it was he just got, it was...
Waiting.
Say it again?
It's still...
What was that
both have left.
What was that then?
WrestleMania, easily.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
I'm just going to
give an honourable mention to is Edge and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the complete realism in that. That whole thing of when Matt was just invading Raw every week.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. And then the fact that like the match they actually had at SummerSlam, fair enough, it kind of ended. Like it actually seemed so real. The fact that Mac couldn't continue the match and they had to stop the match was just brilliant.
You should, Joe, if you ever actually want to listen to more about that feud, get a little bit more of an insight. Bruce Pritchard did a podcast on that once. He talked about that, and he talked about when he came back and how they dealt with it and the whole all the matches and shit like that. It's about an hour and a half long. It's not that long, but it's.
But like, yes, the professionalism that must have they have to been involved in that. Like,
I think like, he said,
thing going on.
I think he said when Matt Hardy came back first. So when Vince McMahon announced them and shit, I think before that they had to put the two of them into a room, and Bruce had to sit between the two of them, and they essentially had to, we're putting you in a feud. Please don't kill each other. Please.
That's a real dickish move though to do anyway.
Oh God, yeah.
We're really sorry, Matt, to hear that your personal life has gone to shit. So we're gonna exploit it, and we're actually gonna have dudes that banged your girlfriend. We're gonna have them go over in this.
But see, the thing was right from the get go, and the reason he got fired as well was because Vince. It was basically Triple H wanted to fire Edge. He said this. This is come out like after this as well. He wanted to fire Edge, and Vince McMahon apparently sat there and went, "Fuck off." He's my best heel at the moment. He's the star. It doesn't matter how good Matt Hardy was.
Hold on. No, in Vince's mind, he's probably Vince is saying that in his head, or these are the words that are coming out of his mouth. But in his head, and he goes, "No, I get to exploit this." Matt Hardy broke a long time ago. It just took a really long delayed reaction to the TNA for it to actually happen. All the shit that all those memories came crawling back to him of what happened, and then it was just like, fucking Edge is still riding high. Shit, Lita is still riding fucking high over this. I'm the only loser in all of this. But then actually
working with the company again.
Can I just say one thing? Actually, I have another rivalry to add: Lita versus her love life, because every single person she's been with that was in WWE are all married with kids, or possibly one child on the way, and yet she is literally, every time you look at her Instagram, just with her dog. Oh. Nice. Don't get me wrong, the dog is terrible, but she did not plan it.
That clip of AJ meeting her like years ago, when it's like, "I'm gonna steal your boyfriend."
It's like, "Oh my God, you're my idol. I want to be just like you. I'm even gonna shag your fucking, sloppy seconds." That's literally what.
To be fair, Punk went through a decent amount of that Divas roster.
Yeah, was he not with Beth Phoenix before Edge was?
He was with Beth Phoenix for a bit apparently. He was with Maria. He was with Lita, and he was with AJ Lee. And I can only assume he was probably with another couple more. They just weren't exclusive, so to speak.
CM Punk, the straight edge fuckboy at the WWE locker room.
Jesus, Amy.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's fucking true.
What?
It's true.
He is a fuckboy.
He's an ugly bastard.
He's not.
Yeah, he is. I would go near him with a 20-foot pole.
CM Punk when he had the long hair. Hell yeah.
Oh no. What's wrong with you people?
I'm sorry if that's what I'm doing.
Well, I think Amy's criteria as well for like fellas is he have a beard?
Yeah.
That seems to be it. Does he have a beard? Yeah.
I don't know, because like Mary Skrull doesn't have much of a beard, but she'd still do him, I'd say.
Oh, have you ever looked at Marty Skrull in the eyes? Holy shit.
Yeah. I try to avoid that with the wizard belt.
Oh my God. Every time I actually see him, I'm just like, don't look directly into his eyes or you'll just become a bumbling mess.
I know the feeling.
I'll do mine now.
Yeah, actually, I do like the beard now. It's on. I don't think about it.
Jesus Christ! I want to say who you matched with in Tinder, but do we give this out to the public?
What?
Will I tell the public who you matched with in Tinder?
Will I match with you on Tinder?
No. Adam Pacini.
You remember you sent it in the group?
Which is great, really.
Actually,
How are we going to... Hold on a second. How are we ever going to match on Tinder? We live in two completely different parts of the country.
I matched with Adam from fucking What Culture. He's in England.
He was probably over in Dublin at the time, was he?
I don't have it. I don't know what. I never bothered setting the radius thing on my thing. But I just want to prove this, just in case people think we are actually lying.
Before the
yeah.
Yeah, you want to move it a little bit. We can only see you.
The other way. Keep moving. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was like...
We matched on Tinder, guys. It wasn't fake. He hasn't got that much of a beard, and I think the reason why I swiped right on him was just because I'm like, oh my god, that's Adam from What Culture.
You have to wonder why you're like. So he swiped right on you, like as well.
Yeah, that's what makes it even better. It's like he swiped right first. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go on to my feuds now before Amy starts having a fucking...
Please do.
I've started to look through on my phone. I'm just like, I should have logged off now, but you know, I'm just, screw it.
Fuck it. You know what? We're all dying as it is. I feel like this podcast ain't going to last after this whole thing anyway. So.
No.
There's one more story. There's one more story we have to talk about. It's about Baron Corbin, and apparently this is all going to make some sense. Fuck the revival. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Anyway, my feuds. My first one was the very first feud that I actually sort of remember when I started watching wrestling, and that was in 98, 99, and that was Test and Triple H. That whole thing in the wedding chapel in Vegas, and oh shit, that to me, that's my...
Women abuse again thing.
Say it again?
Oh, it's the whole women abuse thing again, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
He was drugged.
Yeah, she was drugged, so it's different, okay?
Yeah, it was pretty much, it probably would have turned into date rape.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened after those cameras went off.
They probably did knock boots.
No, to be fair, didn't he actually say that in a promo afterwards? He was talking about consummating the marriage or something like that.
And then you wonder, Dad, if we consummate the marriage.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. That's because it was the very first one that I remember actually getting into in some way, shape, or form. My other one that I'm surprised Dan nor Amy said, which is Austin and Stone Cold. The Stone Cold and The Rock.
Austin and Stone Cold.
Austin and Stone Cold fighting his inner demons. That was enough.
As feuds, yeah, it was a good feud, don't get me wrong, but I was never really a massive Rocker or Stone Cold person. I think he was more, I think both of them were kind of more towards the male fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that that was kind of like, this is what the men want to see, sort of thing, like.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Not me being sexist, it's just...
Oh, you bitch.
And also, I think it's safe to say that they weren't massively bearded men, so yeah. And
yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, no, yeah, they didn't fit Amy's criteria.
Just not beardy enough.
Like she'd pick Aaron before she picks Dwayne Johnson.
Stone Cold had a goatee, and now The Rock, well, The Rock did have a goatee, so...
It's probably true, actually.
Yeah, that was my second one. My third one was Michaels and Jericho, which is still the best feud to me in the last. Not ever, but just Jesus Christ. Just the two of them from their earliest feud going into WrestleMania 19, which is the most underrated by a fucking mile WrestleMania match ever. It never gets mentioned. It's just amazing. Right down to the point where they fucking shake hands and hug. Jericho kicks him in the balls and just Shawn Michaels goes to he's like, that's so good. Jericho was such a prick back then. Then did that lead into his King of the World gimmick?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 2002, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, fucking hell, that feud is just beautiful.
2003.
And it has my favourite ladder match ever. Fuck Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. Because Jericho and Shawn Michaels is better.
King of the World was 2000. When was it? Was it 2002 or was it 2004?
WrestleMania 80 was 2003, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because they had Saliva play in Jericho out at one of the Survivor series, and they played them out with King of
the World, yeah.
I'm just trying to think when was it.
That's also one of my favourite themes ever.
And it was only ever played once for that.
Yeah. It's fantastic. A one and done thing. Yeah, that was another one. My last two are fucking blanking. Say again?
Wasn't
You're
one
not right this time.
You're gonna have right. Amy, you speak first, then Dan will speak because you keep cutting off each other, and the two of you. See, Dan's just saying words right now, and I can't even hear him.
Wasn't one of your other ones already mentioned by Dan?
I can't remember. My brain is. What was that? What was that, Dan? Again? What was the feud, Dan?
The one was Triple H and The Rock.
Triple H and The Rock, yeah. Triple H and The Rock. Yeah. Sorry about that. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm not having a great day at all. Yeah, that was another one, as we've covered already. And my last one is the reason I started watching TNA, which is Angle and Joe.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm throwing him a fucking TNA insider and all. That is the feud. That was just because I liked the Angle, and I went, oh, he's in TNA now. And I think, Dan, have you just frozen? I thought you just I thought your screen froze and you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a feud that got me into TNA because I think Spike over here got TNA around the same time. So I was just like, oh, I might watch that. And then I did. And I was like, oh my God, Angle is so good. That might have been his height. It's taken those couple of years as well. Basically, when he shaved his head, he started doing that wrestling machine gimmick, and he had his feuds with. He had a feud with Cena, he had a feud with Lesnar, he had a feud with Joe. He did a shit in TNA in ECW, which he was very good at, but he obviously left before he could really hit the zenith of what he wanted to do. He was fucking immense back then. There was very few bad matches. He also had a feud with there's a Styles, not a great feud with him. Oh, just great. He's just fucking. Oh.
Addiction.
Say that again?
And this was all while he was battling addiction.
Yeah. Wow. Give Kurt Angle a ton of painkillers and he'll snap out a 5-star match for fun.
Has he ever 5-star rated match by Meltzer?
Down that year on the IWF
I
podcast.
think if his match against Michaels at Mania 21 or 2, if that doesn't have a 5-star rating, then I don't think anything does.
All right.
Because, you know, Meltzer doesn't like American wrestling.
Daniel Bryan doesn't have a 5-star one either, so it just happens.
Doesn't he? Fuck.
No.
I think
matches just weren't rated because, like, Ring of Honor weren't on the radar when he was at his peak.
Well, that's the reason Ring of Honor got in the radar, was because he was at his peak.
Yeah, but Dave Meltzer wasn't rating the shows. Like, Dave Meltzer doesn't rate everything. Like, if he did, Progress would have a lot of 5-star matches by now. And so would Rev Pro, but he just doesn't care.
Obviously, that's England, and like, that's different.
Still, though.
But, yeah.
America.
I'm not talking about Meltzer because I'll get very annoyed at the matches. He should have given 5 stars, but he hasn't.
We know.
Actually, Dan, you watched a match recently that I want to get your thoughts on. Okada versus Omega 2. What were your... This is my favorite match of all time, personally, actually. I thought it was fantastic.
Favorite match of all time, and you're asking me for an opinion. God help you.
Sorry, before you do that, just for Dan and Aaron.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Fuck!
And
the pop of the pin and the blood from it looked nasty.
And he wrestled a match today.
That's insane. Fair play to him.
I just want to say one thing, all right? You could not, like, when that's obviously I'm zoomed in on it, but when Will came up and was cradling him, the gasp from everyone.
God, it was like
It was literally, it was a proper, like, from everyone.
as soon
Everyone.
as he hit his head, everybody went silent, and we were all just waiting to see if he was alive. And as soon as he went up, it was like, oh shit! It was
Like,
scary shit. Like
you can see in the picture, you can see another hand come up, and the other hand is the same as Will's, just drenched in, like, just covered in blood.
yeah, and then there was a big spot where he got pinned, and it was just red, just blood red, like it was leaking that quickly.
There was two spots because he went down when he went down twice, so he went down one, then they moved him further into the ring, and then the second one was just covered in blood.
Wasn't pleasant.
Oh, that's grim, man.
So glad he's alright.
Lucky.
Fair play for going against Rick, though. That's quite impressive.
Right, so
Well, that's pretty whenever you want.
sorry, I just wanted to get that in because I know the two of you hadn't seen it,
Yeah.
and me and Alex had been kind of talking about it. I thought maybe I should find a picture to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I looked in the video, but it happened. You couldn't see the gash in the video, so.
Can I just say one more thing as well? I was going through Angle's matches from when he shaved his head. I forgot about two of them.
Which one?
Angle and Mysterio for Mysterio's debut in the pay-per-view, which is another fucking great match, and Angle versus Guerrero at Mania for his first title defense. For Guerrero's first title defense. Two.
Oh, that was a good match.
The what?
WrestleMania 3.
20, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? 20 or 21? Yeah, 20.
That's when Stevie Richards. Yeah, no, him and
Yeah.
Stevie Richards.
And Steven Richards, yeah, celebrated in the ring.
Yeah.
Good friends.
I actually don't think I've ever seen that match.
You've never seen Angle versus.
I was so young when it
Wanna
happened, and Eddie died, and I can't watch matches with dead wrestlers.
WrestleMania 20, but still.
So I've never watched it.
Watch it. Go over way to watch it.
I see a dead wrestler selling, and I'm like, he must have been in so much pain, and now he's dead. Oh my god, that's so weird.
No,
I just can't.
at that point he wouldn't have been. He was clean at that point.
I can't though. It's really weird to me to watch dead wrestlers wrestle. It's just kind of.
How the fuck do you watch movies with dead actors in them?
That means
I
he would
don't
have to
really
watch
watch
the
movies.
movie. Just because he's Michael Owen. As we've said this the last time.
Anyway, Dan, what were your thoughts on Omega and Okada 2?
Right, okay. Now, the thing is, when I went into this match, I forgot I already knew the result.
Okay, so you were unspoiled.
Not knowing the result, but I did know the result. You know what I mean?
You knew it went long.
No, I knew who won the match before the match started, but I forgot I did.
But nobody won.
I'm going
This
to
is
get
wrong.
to that. Yes, I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'd already heard that, went into the match and watched it, not knowing I already knew. And when I found out at the end of that match that nobody fucking won, yeah. It's a good... Why the fuck ended in a draw, for fuck's sake?
I get what you're saying. In isolation, it looks shit. But when you think about it, they had a trilogy, and their last match is meant to be an extension of that one. It's meant to pick up right where it left off, and that was their plan the whole time.
And I think I know who won that.
The third one?
Yes.
Yeah.
His second name starts with O.
I was like, I'm just gonna think of how is this trilogy truly ended.
For the time being, it looks like Naito's going to be kind of taken over from Okada, and he's going to be the main guy.
I'm gonna call, like, I'm just gonna put this out there. Omega has spent the last 2 months repeatedly saying, well, he can lose it. And he has said that too often where you're like, he's gonna fucking lose it, isn't he? He's gonna be Omega and Okada again, isn't it?
No, it's Naito. He's the biggest draw in Japan. They'd be stupid to not put Naito on top, to be honest. LIJ is too popular.
Well, if this doesn't prove right, this proves to me more than anything else that unless you are an absolute fucking superstar, American superstar coming into that company, you ain't fucking winning that big belt by any means.
It's for Kenny Omega to win it after doing a face turn and an elite split at the next Wrestle Kingdom.
That's too late then.
New Japan do that. They 2 years ahead. That's how they work.
But
The
that's
thing is,
too
this
late
is
then.
Naito's year. He'll be built up enough with the Japanese audience.
Kenny Omega, for all of Kenny Omega's sometimes faults, right? Sometimes he deserves this belt. To not put this belt on him right now when they're trying to expand to America is fucking stupid.
Look, I'm gonna say this: New Japan hardcore fans in the US don't want them to just put it on a Gaijin just to put it on them. They want proper New Japan.
They're not gonna just put it on him. He fucking deserves that belt. He could hold the US and the IWGP title, and it would be fucking perfect.
He deserves the title, but Naito deserves it more. The guy has been the top draw, the top merch seller. He's probably He's probably way more popular than Kenny Omega over there. It's his time to win. Like, in fairness to him, he's been insanely good for the last 2 years. It's Naito. It's It's not Omega's time.
Anyway, can I just give more thoughts on that match anyway?
Yeah, go on.
Like,
What do you think about the wrestling in it though? Like, for an hour-long draw, wasn't it well wrestled at a good pace?
yes, the wrestling in that was very, very, very well done. They put on great matches. We talked earlier in the week about Ricochet and Ospreay. Now, me and Aaron don't like that at all. But Okada and Omega are putting on something completely different, and it's so much better. If Ricochet and Ospreay were doing that, I'd happily go and pay to see that every single week. Great stuff. But yeah, that's why I can't actually wait to go on my third one now. I know you're telling me the short one is quick.
Can I ask, how many times has Omega hit his finisher on Okada? Has it been the once?
Yeah.
And he won of the once, yeah?
Twice. He hit it the hour-long draw, and
Yeah.
Okada put his foot on the rope at like 2.9, and in the third one he hit it to win.
First one as well.
No, that was the whole thing of he didn't hit it in the first one. It was going to be the move that won it for him in the second
Right.
one.
Every time he was setting up for me.
That's why.
I have to say, Kevin Kelly is a great commentator.
Who?
I'm loving his work.
Who?
Kevin Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Japanese commentary a little bit better though. They go batshit crazy. It's really good. It's just like it's a clothesline. Oh my god! Like, yeah.
South American football commentators.
Oh my god! You're like, calm down. It was a clothesline.
But
All I'm thinking of is when you do that, it's like the Indian commentators for Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal! India number one! India number one!
He's Canadian!
Why the hell did they keep going back and forward between English and Indian commentary at SummerSlam? Just randomly.
Because
It's literally my favorite thing ever at the moment. I love it so much. I'm just like, I wish I was as hyped as these people are for this. I know.
Jesus Christ.
do you know what's hilarious as well, actually, right? They're pushing Jinder as like the hero of India, right? And the Indian commentators, they're going mental from every single time he's on the screen. If you look through any post that WWE put up, and usually it's like 99% fucking Indian fellas, they don't like him. They do not like him.
They know he's Canadian. They know he's an imposter.
No, he's a heel. That's the problem. And they still take wrestling for what it is. So he's a heel, and they just boo him. Now, I think if he went over there and they did a show over there, he'd probably, have fucking about 1 million people come out from. But as it stands,
I think they're one of them.
no, I don't think they are. I think that was the rumor at the start that they wanted to go over there, and that was the reason he was made a champion. But I just think that was a way as well of just fucking over GFW. It's like, yeah, they're over there, but we've got a fucking Indian as the biggest wrestler in the world right now.
I think they probably saw it. Didn't sell well. God, we've lost her.
Why? What happened?
The Indian commentary. Okay, she's been deleted. Obviously, Mural Amy has been deleted. She's broken.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, number one. Yeah, number one.
Oh, stop! It hurts my sides. Oh. I'm okay. Okay.
Kelly, he's a top-notch commentator anyway.
Yes.
So, yeah, Dan, do you think that the second match, was it 5 stars in your opinion?
We still on that.
What's happening now?
Alex is muted by Amy. Hey,
Back. Sorry, continue.
Oh, it's funny, why?
Where were we?
It's a 5-star match.
Yeah, the 5-star thing. Okay. This is where I have a problem with it. What rating did it get?
6.
6.25.
I think that was just trolling, though, to be fair. I think it was just 6.
No,
But
it
he
wasn't.
said, I'm going to fuck these guys over and give it 6.25 just to piss people off.
Look, this is the problem I have.
Yep.
If it's 6.25, why was the Fatal 4-Way SummerSlam only 4.75?
Because it didn't happen in Tokyo, Dan. Jesus.
Dave Meltzer doesn't look.
That's literally it. And then anytime you bring it up to Dave Meltzer, he does a comp out like, it's basically 5. Just round up. Like, give a 5 so, you dickhead.
Like,
he knows how much his ratings mean to some people and how they view wrestling. Don't be a fucking dickhead and not give it what it deserves.
These two ratings are not comparable. Like, you can't go and give it 6.25 and only give the other match 4.75. They're a lot closer together than those ratings suggest.
The problem with that was he had to rank that second Okada and Omega match against the first one. Had he not given that first one 5 stars, the second one would have only got 5 stars. But because the first one got 6, he kind of had to go, well, shit, I mean, this one was better. But I can't just give it 5. So I have to give it 6.25. He shot
5.25 for that one. Why did he not just go 5.25?
Because he kind of went, I'll give it that extra star because this is probably the best match that'll ever happen.
Well, hang on,
He probably never thought there'd be anything close to that match. I don't really know. If you take the second one in isolation, I think it's a 5-star match. When you compare it to the fact that Ric Flair and like Rich and your man, the Dragon, back in the 80s went it for an hour and got 5 stars. This one was an hour at a better pace.
And give it 5 stars, and the other match I'm talking about only got 4.75. Yeah,
I don't think there was enough wrestling in it for Meltzer. He hates it when guys are on the outside and do stretcher spots. Whereas New Japan is a bit more straight up wrestling. He probably didn't like the stretcher spots and the lack of actual wrestling.
The crowd in that match, or going through tables, or what?
I don't know. I just think you have to rate them differently.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I gave it 5 personally, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, fair enough. 5 is fair. Because, the thing I didn't like about it was the fact that the match went on for so long that they were absolutely drained.
That's true.
It was at that moment, like when Okada pulled up Omega to give the Rainmaker, and Omega was just so tired he couldn't even stand up.
That was like part of the sell job. That was like
To be fair, when he tried to hit that,
greatest bit of selling I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, when he tried to hit that close, when he tried to hit the Rainmaker and he fell to his knees, that was quite good. To be fair, I personally, that's great.
Like it just sold. This is
So tired, and they couldn't cover then afterwards because they were so tired.
yeah. But I mean, they wrestled an hour. That was the point. That was the story they were telling. Had he just got up and sprang at him and got three, it would have made sense.
I'm just gonna be an American wrestling mark and say Steamboat and Flair was still better.
Of course you
I
will,
still
because you're a
haven't
Jim Cornette.
I'm not a Cornette mark. That is an don't.
To be fair, they're different matches for different generations. You cannot compare them. Other than the fact that they were the same length. That's about it.
Wrestling is wrestling.
Yeah, but it's evolved.
You have to admit, though, it has kind of evolved since.
Oh no, it has.
So,
But
If Ric Flair and Steamboat wrestled today, they'd get people would fucking start booing around 40 minutes. They'd be bored out of their tree. They'd fall asleep. Nobody would watch that
no,
shit
they
nowadays.
wouldn't. Good
Yes, they
wrestling.
would.
At the end of the
They
day,
need
good
to
wrestling is good wrestling. Good wrestling is good wrestling. It doesn't matter if it's fucking 10 minutes, 40 minutes, or fucking hour and a half. Good wrestling is good fucking wrestling. And you put any good wrestling match in the middle of a fucking wrestling card, it'll get over. Why? Because it's fucking wrestling!
No, it was too slow a pace. If you hit one move in 20 minutes these days, people are going to fall asleep and not want to watch. This is 2017. Attention spans are fucking low as hell. You have to wrestle at a fast pace. You cannot wrestle like you did in
You
the
don't
80s.
have to wrestle in a fast pace.
Everybody does. And why does everybody do
Everyone
it?
does it because they don't know how to fucking wrestle half the time.
Aaron,
What does everybody want?
Aaron, get out of the 80s, okay? Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
getting. The thing is, as well, I grew up in the 90s, which is lovely.
You're like Jim Cornette. You're stuck with your old view of wrestling, and you don't understand that wrestling moves on and it changes.
At this rate, so in another 10 fucking years, right? So what's going to happen? It's just going to be fucking. Oh my god. Wrestling's wrestling. It doesn't matter. It's wrestling. If it's good and it has a story behind it, it'll fucking work.
No. That's not true. Alright, how about this? Like, you watch a Bruno Sammartino match from the 50s, that was considered good back then. It's not today. Why? Because he hits one move in 30 minutes. He's telling a story, but it's fucking shit.
Oh, boy, when I get up there in November, I'm gonna fucking strangle you.
Alex, I'm just curious. Do you want an open casket or closed for your funeral when Aaron gets? Yeah, it's probably for the best. I think Aaron is going to beat you to it.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault. He just doesn't understand 2017 wrestling. No.
I just think you don't understand when to stop. I think that's the real problem here.
You're trying too hard to be a heel. I'm falling for it, but you're trying too hard.
In all fairness, both of us have Aaron, and at least I actually got my hands on him.
There you go. Yeah. Do you really want to test fate? You've got 2 more months before I go up there. Do you really want to buy me over to the point where I'm going to get up there earlier than I should be?
No,
Just
I
smash
just,
your face.
I'm personally saying that wrestling now is different than it was in the 90s and 80s. It's a different pace.
Agreed.
If that's so wrong.
Agreed. Most of it is.
I agree.
But what I'm trying to
You were
say,
disagreeing just there a minute ago.
Is that I get that wrestling today is different than it was then. But you still have a good feud with 2 incredible wrestlers and you put them in a 60-minute match and have good emotion and it's slow to build up to a fucking big finish, it'll fucking work. Because at the end of the day, wrestling is wrestling and it's defined by the emotion that you put into it.
Maybe. All I know is, if you showed me Ric Flair and Richie Steamboat, I'm saying his name wrong, but it's like, it's too late, I don't give a shit.
Ricky Steamboat. They're naming his son.
Whatever. If you showed me that match today, I probably wouldn't watch it all, is all I'm saying. I would probably tap out at about 40 minutes, if not earlier, because I'd just go, there's nothing happening. Personally, if I watched that match today, that's what would happen.
What's Dan showing
To
us?
accept that, Aaron, as a thing.
You just need to accept the fact that you just don't understand wrestling. Truly understand professional wrestling.
Like, my brand of wrestling is that so wrong, Aaron. I like fast-paced wrestling. Shoot me so.
I probably will.
Don't give him an idea, Alex. What's wrong with you?
No.
Why did he shoot him? Well, he did. He did tell me
It's
to.
not high on your list.
So look, Aaron, so what? I'm an indie smart guy. I like fast-paced wrestling. That doesn't make fucking sense. I own that. I don't give a shit.
As long as you admit the fact that a lot of fast-paced wrestling doesn't make any sense.
A lot of it doesn't. Hey, look, PWG, they just do shit. I love watching that. It's the reality TV of wrestling. Like, who gives a shit? You just watch it. It's fun. You forget about it.
It shouldn't be like that.
These two can't sit beside each other when we go to Buskers.
You can't say
That's actually going to be your first time meeting face to face, isn't it?
Me and Aaron?
Aaron is going to punch you the second he sees you. And then afterwards he'd be like, hey, what's the story? Nice to meet you.
I hope. So what I hope, so what I really hope, that you manage to win that fucking belt, IWF belt, before we get there. And I'm coming to
Nathan,
you.
I'll have you win it, and then we can do a thing at Buskers. We have to.
Fine. I do not give a shit.
Maybe say it to Nathan. If he's not watching, like, which he might be.
I am, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually currently on pages of Trent 7, to be honest with you, but I'm still listening.
Yeah, me and Aaron want to have a feud over the IWF title and have a match at Buskers.
And I will bring that bet back to the real capital.
We see we couldn't do that because then nobody could win it for like 2 months. Like,
And that's the
fair.
point. Keep it so you keep it so
get
Dublin can't touch it.
Updates for like 2
It
months.
would actually probably get to a point where we would have like fake and injury free and have you vacate the championship.
Right, what I would honestly do, right, if it was going to be between the whole lot of us, for all of us to win the belt as the night went on, start with Alex. Start with Alex, goes then Dan, then Amy, and then Amy then can keep it because she's in Dublin.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
I'll figure something cool out.
I'll let Nathan know what our plan is, so and we can put it into effect. Oh my God, Marty Skrull in a suit.
Because you've all people leaked information, the storylines now have to change.
No.
What? No, this is for November. This is booking for future. This will be in November. Like, we will need storylines for them anyway.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to be in Buskers as well for like what?
4 or 5 hours, maybe 6.
What?
How many Buskers from
4 or 5 hours. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. We're going to be for a long.
I literally just goes, we'll be there for nearly 12 hours. And you're the one that said 4 or 5, and he goes, yeah, Aaron, fuck off, dickhead.
I wasn't thinking, okay?
You never fucking think.
No,
Seriously, this man is a sexy bastard. You can't say he's not.
Yeah, but
You're not putting it into the camera properly.
Stop.
His good side?
He
What?
has 2 good sides. There is no such thing with Trent.
Every side about him is his good side.
Excuse me.
Ew.
Sorry. I think everything is just coming back up now. I think this is the end.
Hang on a second. I'm just trying to think what your post last night. You had a Russian milkshake.
Yeah.
A what?
A Russian milkshake.
What is that?
All I
Vodka.
know that's in it is strawberries, berries and milk, I think, and it's just vodka and a couple of other things. It's fucking lovely.
Yeah, sounds great.
There's also another one on the menu, but it's technically not in the menu, and it costs €2 more than the rest of them, and it's called a nuclear daiquiri. If you want to get drunk quick and likes to take a Zambuca, fucking go ahead, because that thing would fucking kill you.
Let's all go for now.
I managed 2, and then I forgot the rest of the night.
Oh, jeez. Is that an actual thing? That's never happened to me.
That's because you drink piss water. That's why.
What the whole thing is, like, when you black out, it's basically it's kind of like your brain has decided, I'm just not going to record any of this.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And I remember one time we were out in a pub.
Joe, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to stop the podcast so we can continue on.
Oh God, yeah, Jesus, yeah. Actually, I don't want people knowing this.
So, shit! I should have just kept it going. All right, then. Bye to the two people that watched. That are now not watching anymore. Bye. Bye.